you see me? All right, so I was thinking, when I started producing, I made so many mistakes that cost me time, money, and frustration. If I could go back and give my younger self some advice, these are 5 things that would have saved me years. What up? It's Moon Man Mike. Oh shit, that was corny. What up? It's Moon Man Mike. If you're new here, welcome. I've been making beats for years, and today I'm sharing the top 5 things that I wish I knew when I started producing. Whether you just recently started producing or you've been making beats and you're just trying to level up, these tips could help you. And stick around, because I'll not only give you these tips, but I'm also going to show you ways that you can apply them to your own music journey. Let's get started. Tip number 1, don't overthink your beats. When I was just getting started, I would sit on a beat for hours trying to make it perfect. Guess what? It ain't never gonna be perfect. The truth is, finishing the beat, even if it's not perfect, that's how you grow. I remember one time I spent 3 days on a hi-hat pattern. And thinking back now, I should have just wrapped it up and moved on to the next beat. The crazy thing is, I didn't even save that beat. What I would do now, set a timer. I would give myself 2 to 3 hours to finish an entire beat from start to finish and move on. That'll force you to focus and build momentum. Tip number 2, learn to use what you have. I used to think it was impossible to make good beats without all these expensive plugins like Omnisphere, or I remember Nexus or Keyscape. All these plugins that are like $400, $500, $600. I used to think I needed those to make fire beats. But the reality is, the creativity is way more valuable and useful than the gear that you have. Some of the beats that I love and some of the beats that people love that I've made came from stock plugins and stock sounds, which is wild to me. For example, I just made a video of my top 3 plugins and they were all stock plugins. And I meant it. Those are my top 3 in 2025. Fruity Reverb 2. There's a Fruity Reverb 3 and I still use the second one. Some may call me an old head for that, whatever. I like it. I used it on a lot of my older beats, but I still use it on every single beat I make today. My actionable advice for this one, before you buy another plugin, master the ones that you already have. You'd be surprised how far it could take you. Tip number 3, consistency over perfection. I kind of touched on this one, but I want to go a little bit deeper. One of the biggest mistakes I've made was producing inconsistently. I'd wait until I felt inspired, which meant I wasn't improving as fast as I could have. When I set a goal for myself to be disciplined and make a beat every single day, even if it was just for 30 minutes, I saw the progression and it was substantial. Sometimes I would go months without making beats, but music will always come back to me. If I stayed disciplined and just made a beat every single day, no matter how much I didn't feel like it, I believe I would be so much further than where I'm at now. But that's a part of the process. Treat producing like going to the gym. Show up consistently, even if you don't feel like it, and the results will follow. Tip number 4, mixing does not have to be complicated. I spent so much time trying to mix like the pros and I barely even understood the basics. I didn't even know how to use the equalizer. To be real, mixing starts with good sound selection. Work on that first, and then the basic techniques. I used to get so overwhelmed because there was compression that I didn't know how to use. I didn't take the time to research that. I didn't know how to use the EQ like I said a minute ago. And that whole process of not truly knowing how to mix my beats, 1, resulted in wasting a lot more time than I needed to. And 2, made the process overwhelming to the point where it almost demotivated me to make beats. What I want you to do is focus on volume leveling first, then use the equalizer to carve out space for each sound. So that way they all sit perfectly within a mix. Start simple and build from there. Or go to my last video of the top 3 plugins for 2025 and follow the techniques that I show you. Tip number 5, network and collaborate. If I could go back, I would start connecting with other producers and artists much earlier. Your network is one of your biggest assets as a producer. The first time I ever worked with another producer, I learned way more in just that 2-hour session than I did in months of making beats alone. You would be surprised how much you can learn from someone else. I don't care if you think that you've been making beats longer than them or you're better than them, you can always learn from somebody else, whether it's your drum loops, whether it's a technique they use for their melodies, whether it's a technique they use in their mixing. Go into that with an open mind and see how much you learn. My advice, don't be afraid to reach out. Message some local artists or DM other producers. The worst that they could say is no, but the best case scenario, a collab that you will remember forever. So just to recap, Don't overthink your beats. Use what you have. Focus on consistency. Keep mixing simple and start networking early. These 5 lessons would have saved me so much time and frustration when I started. Now I want to hear from you. What's the biggest lesson you've learned as a producer? Or what's your biggest challenge right now? Put it in the comments. I read every comment. I don't get much. I only got like 50 subscribers right now, so I'm gonna read yours and respond. We can talk about it. If this video helped you even just a little bit, hit the like button and subscribe if you want to. I plan on dropping tips like this once a week. Maybe you already knew this stuff, but if you know somebody who could get value out of this video, share it with them. Let's grow together. In my next video, I'm gonna react to one of my first beats that I ever made. Not only am I gonna roast myself and maybe even perform CPR on it, I'll give it some life. I might redo it, turn it into a banger or something. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss it. I'll catch you on the next one. Peace. Do I look good? Mic check, mic check. Oh. Mic check, mic check. 1 2 1 2. No, I'm playing. All right. Cool. So, I hate when I have lint on myself, because I never know, bro. I'll be staring at that one piece of lint my whole video, and I'll be thinking, people who watching this doing the same thing. Whether you're just getting into whether you're just getting started or you're trying to level up, these tips are for you. Whether you're just getting started producing or you're trying to level up, these tips are for you. Whether you're just getting started or you've been producing and you're just trying to level up, and stick around because and stick around because I'll not only show you and stick around because I'll not only show you what the fucking fuck. I used to think I had what the fuck? My actionable not only am I gonna roast myself, but I'll also give you actionable steps. But I'll also share what I would do now and maybe even flip it into, and maybe even refinish it. And maybe even perform CPR on it. I'll give it some life. I might redo it and turn it into a banger or something. Catch you on the next one. I'll catch you on the next one. Peace. Peace.